Hey, sweeties. Thank you for joining me. This is Life on the Table with Notlolo M. We are discussing all things marriage, relationships, divorce, love, life. As you can hear, it's Life on the Table with Notlolo M. Please do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you do not miss out on future engagements. Now, today we are talking to wives. Okay, a wife is somebody who is married to a man. Okay, today we are discussing wives, signs that your marriage is making you depressed. When you get married, you expect to be happy, to live. Obviously, you plan to have a happy life with your husband, and your family and your children. You plan to make the most of life together. Sometimes it does not happen that way. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss signs that your marriage is making you depressed and unhappy. Now, most of the things I'm going to mention here are things that I went through and which took me a very long time to realize that actually that marriage was not good for me. Now, sign number one that your marriage is making you depressed or miserable is that you dread waking up in the morning, especially on days that you are not going to work. You dread waking up in the morning. You don't know why you are alive. You don't know why you are in that marriage. You don't know what you and your husband are doing in that marriage. You are wondering what went wrong. What could have happened? What could have gone wrong? We had so many plans. What just happened? What is happening right now? You ask yourself all these questions while your husband has plans with other people, while he is carrying on with life, while he is enjoying life, making plans that do not include you, being happy with other people except you. Now, if this is what you are going through and this has been your life for over a year, then your marriage is making you depressed, miserable, and unhappy. Okay, the next sign that your marriage could be making you depressed is if you have no desire to do the general life skills such as cleaning your house, cooking, just keeping a clean space in your home. The basic house chores. Not that you used to love and enjoy doing them before, but you used to do them because you knew it was just the right thing to do. It was just something you had to do. It's a general life skill, and it's things that people as human beings have to do on a daily. When you start losing a desire for that, it is a sign that something isn't right on the inside. And because of the way your marriage has become, the thought of attending to these responsibilities is just so dreading. You feel overwhelmed by just the thought of attending to these things. You can't even bring yourself to actually channel your mind into doing such things because your marriage has become so depressing to you. You are such a miserable person that you don't even know what to do about it. You are not doing these things because you are tired, you've been working, or you are just lazy. No, it's because your home feels so heavy because you lack attention, you lack joy, you lack partnership from your husband that you actually should be getting since you are married. If you are a married woman, if you are a wife, your heart knows what it's supposed to get. And if it is not getting all these things, the joy, appreciation, partnership, acknowledgement, attention, it really makes you depressed. And if you have been feeling this way for over a year, I would say, in your marriage, then your marriage is making you depressed and unhappy. Another sign that your marriage is making you depressed, miserable, and unhappy is when you get home. Doesn't matter where you come from, whether I used to do this a lot, whether you come home from work or from the store or from the mall or wherever, when you get home, you find it difficult to get off the car. It's hard for you to get off the car and go into the house. You find yourself sitting in your car for hours on end before getting into the house because of how heavy your house is, how heavy your home is, knowing that you are alone with no one to talk to, as if you are not married. You just don't have a life. You feel like you do not have a life because here you are. You have tried to enter into a partnership with this person in order to build a life with them, but they are nowhere to be found. So this makes you miserable because you are still committed into making your marriage work, but nothing is happening. Your husband is not coming into the party, and that makes you really miserable because, number one, you don't know what you're going to do when you get into the house. I know someone might feel like, oh, there's a lot you can do. You can watch TV, you can clean the house or read a book or do something. But remember, you entered into a partnership so that you can share a life with someone. Now, when you're sitting in the car, you are thinking of all these things. What am I going to do? I mean, I'm here sharing a life with someone, but I'm alone. I go into the house, there is no life. There is no one. There is no one to talk to except for the children. If you have the children as well, I think they can also see how your marriage is impacting on you. So if you find yourself finding it hard to get off the car and go into the house, then your marriage, and it's been like that for a long time. I often say if it's been over a year with you going through this, then your marriage is making you miserable and depressed. Sometimes as well, apart from you not having the desire to get off the car and going into the house, sometimes you can find yourself staying till late at work, unnecessarily so. You have no backlog, there's nothing else for you to do at work, but you find yourself staying till late because there's nothing really to go home to. You are not looking forward to going home. You would rather stay wherever you are, though your heart wants to be at home because you are committed into building a life and sharing your life with someone, but you know that your husband is not coming to the party. So you think it's better if you stay outside of the house wherever you are. And that is a sign. If you've been doing that for a long time, it's a sign as well that your marriage is making you depressed and miserable. Now, I went through all these phases for a very long time, but it actually took me a very long time. It took me years to realize that actually I wasn't happy. Actually, I was depressed. Actually, I was losing myself. Because another thing that happens is that you start losing interest in the things that you used to love. I used to love movies. I started losing interest in movies, in watching movies. There are certain things I used to love doing. You know, I loved dancing as well. I lost interest in that. A whole lot of things. I sort of lost myself. I had great plans. I had plans for business. You know, for just running my own business, I started losing interest in that as well. And yeah, I sort of lost myself in my marriage. I lost a sense of who I was, the person I had planned to become, because I think the misery and the depression took over me so much that it left me feeling paralyzed. So if you can resonate with this video and everything that I have mentioned, these are just the signs for you to realize that your marriage is making you miserable. Oh, and another sign that is popping in my head right now is that when you start asking yourself, obviously we have colleagues, we have, you know, acquaintances, we have people we know that we actually get comfortable with each other to such an extent that we discuss our private lives, not in detail, but just in a nutshell, you know, I'm married, my husband and I are doing this. Yeah, I'm married, my wife, I'm taking my wife to this. When your colleagues or your friends or your acquaintances start saying such things of how much plans they have with their better halves, it makes you feel hurt and depressed, and you start asking yourself, why is my marriage not like this? Not that you are envying, you know, or that you want a perfect marriage, but you just want it to be normal, but it is not. So those are all the signs that can tell you that your marriage is making you depressed and miserable. Thank you for joining me. This is Life on the Table with Noxolo M. See you in the next video.